Welcome to sixth grade reading. This is lesson 156 and 157. We're kind of doubling up a little bit here and there, so it's not fully both of those lessons, but it is going to be a little bit more reading than we normally have. So it's pages 235 to 248 in your Of America 2. We'll go over those in a minute. We have a vocab list 32 that we're going to go over. You also have a read and comprehend skill sheet 40 to take, okay? So go ahead and pause the video and take that if that's ready for you. If not, you can do it at the end of the video. I'll give you a moment to pause them. Okay, we're going to go ahead and take out your vocab list 32. We're going to go through this list like we've been doing with the others. All right, the first word is pronounced viceroy, okay? So it's a S sound for the C, okay? Viceroy, a person ruling in place of the king, viceroy. Crier, a person who shouts out public announcements, crier. Tantamount, equal, tantamount. Dogmatic, characterized by arrogant stubbornness, dogmatic. Rationalize, justified by selfish reasoning, rationalize. Poignant, touching the emotions, poignant. Mediocre, average to less than average, mediocre. Novice, a beginner, novice. Burnished, well polished, burnished. Air, before, air, okay? All right, so those are our words. You're gonna copy those 2 times as your homework today. The Viceroy and the Indian is the first story we're reading, and the ruler in this story was a good man. He wanted to make sure that justice was served to everyone in his kingdom. Okay? We're also going to be reading the story, I'm Not Running on a Sunday. This is the true story of a Scottish Olympic hero who stood true to his convictions, okay? And in fact, there's been a Lamplighter Ministries does video or like little short animated films of true stories, and there is one about this Scottish runner, Eric Liddell. And so it's a good one to watch. If you, I believe that it is on, it's part of Amazon Prime, I believe. So if you have that, you can read that or watch that. But it is a good story, and it's a Christian story. Okay, I'm gonna make one change. I'm gonna let you finish the story. So page 250. So I will just make that change, and we'll just adjust that on the other end. So finish the story, because I didn't notice that we were stopping at a bad spot for that. So the Viceroy and the Indian, I'll start the story for you and let you get to reading. There was once a great Viceroy who ruled in Mexico. He was called Count Ravijahadu. He had several other names and titles too, but this one will be enough to remember. He was a good ruler because he was not satisfied to listen to what his servants or officers told him, but found out for himself that what needed to be done for the country and the people. After he came to be a viceroy, the streets of the city were cleaned, dark corners and alleys were better lighted at night, and the mud holes were filled up. More than that, he made a rule that he would see anyone, rich or poor, who came to him for justice or for help. So the people trusted him. One morning, a poorly dressed Indian came to Count Ravijahadu door and stood there silently and respectfully. For a while, he said nothing. At last, he asked rather timidly if the Viceroy was at home. Where else would he be at this hour? Asked the guard. who didn't feel it necessary to show respect to a poor Indian. So the Indian waited a while longer. Then another guard asked him what he wanted, and this time he asked to see the viceroy. The guard was not very polite about showing him in, but since the viceroy had ordered that anyone who wished it was to see him, he led the man to the viceroy's apartment. As the Indian stood there quietly, the viceroy came in, greeting him pleasantly, and asked, "How can I be of service to you, senor?" At this, the Indian began to tell a story, talking slowly. All right, I'll let you read the rest of that because this story isn't quite so long. But I'm Not Running on Sunday by Sally Magnuson. You're going to read that. Some of the words to note: the qualifying heats are preliminary races to determine finalists. So that a lot of people run in those. They'll do like several qualifying heats, and then the top runners from each heat get to run is how they work that. Let's see, tantamount's in our vocab list, so you know that. Dogmatic and rationalized too. But jibes are mocking remarks. Fended off is defeated. Sweltered is suffered from extreme heat. And cauldron is a large pot used for boiling. Cologne, that's not the cologne that a man would put on as like their perfume. It's actually a German city on the Rhine River. HRH is His Royal Highness. And poignant is in your list. Acrimony is bitterness. Less than crooked is a British phrase meaning inappropriate. So, implicit is understood but not spoken. Mediocre's in your list. Masseur is a person whose work is giving massages. I think I need one of those. Aficionados are the spectators or the fans. Ungainly is awkward and clumsy. To flag is to get tired. Union Jack is the flag of Great Britain. Ebullient is overflowing with enthusiasm. Ratified is verified and confirmed. And that's all the words that you're going to find. And then several of your vocab list words are going to be in this story. So, or in the first story. So I will let you get to reading. It is quite a bit, but it is 2 full stories. If you didn't take your reading comprehension, please take that. And don't forget to write your vocab list 2 times with the definitions on paper. And we will see you in the next lesson.